Thanks for doing this as well. I appreciate it, man.
If Marshall recommended me, I'm
Yeah,
so
he was so
grateful.
cool to chat to. He,
Yeah, he interviewed me on his format, artist to artist.
oh, did it?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. But Marshall's one of my best friends, and Marshall's one of the great, put music aside, one of the nicest men I've ever met in my life on the earth. Yeah, very
Yeah,
good man.
and
So when he,
honestly, I could have spoke to him for hours. It was like
oh,
I
he's
try and
great.
keep them
He's
to 50.
great.
It was like 42 minutes or something it went on for,
Oh
and
man, man.
I try and keep them 15 minutes, but sometimes they don't. They go to I can only really do half an hour max. So
Yeah,
I
I know. I was the
I
same
split it
thing.
into two
Yeah,
then. But
but when you have good
it's good.
conversations
I
with
enjoy doing
people.
it. It's brilliant.
Well, thank you for having me on. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready, and I'm just
Yeah.
being myself. Of course, I get a little nervous because when I don't know what you're gonna ask me. Freemoor, I need to know where was it last
I
night?
have done a little
This,
bit of research, but obviously, if
yeah.
anything's wrong, just tell me and then I'll just
Okay,
cut that bit
okay,
out. So, how did your
okay.
sort of musical journey start?
And now, are you referring is this just in general as professional or just being a kid banging on stuff?
Well,
I
even
would say,
just your journey starting that. I like hearing when
uh,
what drew you to music and things. I love stuff like that.
no, I would say that I have to give it to my mother. I was lucky as a kid that my mom would always yank me from whatever I'm doing to come to the TV and say, "Hey, look at this artist, or look at this singer, etc." So my mom would always ask me quizzes: who wrote that song? Who's in the big? My mother was big time because she's a singer herself. She used to be a singer, drummer. So my mom, and then over the years, even though in high school I was excelling in sports, but it was always music, sports, music. So one minute I'm playing football, boxing, wrestling. Later on, I'm banging on the drums because that was my main instrument. And I would say that over the years, when it came to making a decision which one I'm going to pursue on a deeper level, I swayed towards music. I wanted to be the best drummer in the world, blah blah blah, and singing from back of the drums, the whole Phil Collins, Larry Blackman, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I was singing from the back of the drums and had some cool had a cool couple of bands. Yeah,
Oh, quality. That was. I
always
listened
doing the
to
talent shows,
was
etc.
it Affliction you sent me?
Affliction.
Yeah, that's a great song. That is. I really enjoyed
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
It sounded like it was I don't know, come from quite a personal place. That song was it like? Is there a story behind that song?
Affliction, and I don't want to rub people the wrong way, is stating that there's a lot of people that have unfortunately passed on based upon some of their own afflictions and some of society afflictions. Antoinette, Marie Antoinette was one of them. Um, have to say a few other celebrity women. I don't want to drop names, but famous people, they had their own personal issues, like an affliction, which led to their demise, and men as well. But when I wrote this song, I was particularly thinking of some of the famous women that we've had that was misunderstood, or some of them had problems, and it led to them not being here and them leaving us at a very, very early, time in life.
Yeah, you find that it's
Yeah.
quite sad. I watched the documentary about Etta James, and her life was quite sad when you look back
Right,
and
that's an
how
example.
brilliant she
Yeah,
was. Like,
yeah, that's an example, and I can say some people get rubbed the wrong way when I actually tell the names I'm thinking of. I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but I have to say, if you mention Etta James, or I could mention just recently Amy Winehouse, unfortunately, that was a kind of an
yeah,
affliction. So things like that. So on the lawns of lies. So I read you hear the lyrics. I read the news. I felt the wind that led me to your. Yeah. So
I
yeah,
loved
it's
Shine
sad.
as well. To be fair, you've got some really good songs.
Well, thank you. May I elaborate on Shine? I will say this quickly. Shine is taking the power back. The music industry, the business of the music industry, it was more or less, I wrote this in England, and the whole premise of that song is the fact that we are coming back because this is not your town. We're taking it back. The artists, the producers, all of us that are kind of like being replaced at that time when, even like when AI is coming in, which is, of course, AI has some positives, of course, but Shine actually I actually called to you're gonna laugh, the James Bond franchise, and I was trying to get it submitted for the James Bond film because basically it's an action film song. Shine,
Yeah,
we're coming at you, the whole 9 yards. So yeah, but it is what it is.
that's cool, man.
I'm
Who's sort of
glad you
been your
like
biggest?
that.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
I'm glad you like the song Shine.
Yeah,
Thank
it's a
you.
great song. That the three I listened to, I liked. I liked Shine, Affliction, and is it Confess?
Confess, yeah.
Yeah, Confess was a great song. They
Yeah.
were the
The
three
ballad. Yeah, the
I
ballad.
had them on today, like while I was getting ready for the interview. If I'll put them on repeat for a bit, so I had a good listen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who's been your sort of biggest inspirations with your sound, and what drew you to like sort of go for an indie sort of rock sound?
Well, in obviously, and not say obviously, but of course, my biggest fan or influence of my music and career is Prince, of course, because I consider him the ultimate of. I mean, after you say the word Prince, I don't know what else to say. I mean,
Yeah, I love
uh,
Prince.
and I like his audacity. I loved his professionalism. His, of course, him being one of the top. He's a prodigy. I mean, of course. But other than Prince, big influence on my sound, I would say, is Queen. And of course, I'm a big fan of Lenny Kravitz. Uh,
That's good. Stop you just 1 second there. So I
yeah,
said today to my wife, I was like, one of these songs just sounds like the sound had a Lenny
yeah.
Kravitz sound to it. I was like, I bet I love that. I got it right.
It's interesting to me about Lenny is that, and this is the craziest thing. I just saw Lenny perform here in Vegas 3 times, and I hope it's okay with the person. I'm going to say this. I have an acquaintance that plays for Lenny right now as we speak. He's
Oh,
the bassist. And he and I would chat a lot through Instagram because he played. I saw him playing the bass, and we'd go back and forth having conversation. He's one of the nicest men that I had never met. I'd never met him, but we just talked through Instagram. I'm checking out his videos. Next thing you know it, I'm watching TV and I see him in a commercial. And I'm like, whoa. So I think me and him were going back and forth about 3 or 4 years. Long story short, I wanted to finally meet him. And I was very lucky that my bass player at that time um, was working the show, and he was kind enough to get me in the show. When the show was over, I went backstage on the stage, and I stood there on the stage, and I text over to the Wolf, which is the bass player for Prince. I'm sorry, for Lenny, and I didn't know if he was going to come out or not. But I turned around, he stepped out, gave him a handshake. We talked for a while, and I would say that I don't know if he could hear this or not, but uh, I know him as Hutch, but of course they call him the Wolf. One of the nicest, talented, high-spirited gentlemen I've ever seen in music. And just him playing for Lenny. I'm a big fan of Lenny, and I've always wanted to greet Lenny. And that was the closest I've got to it. But yeah, meeting the Wolf was great. But yeah, Lenny's a big influence, on some of my sounds.
you've got good inspiration. Most of the people you named, I love as well. I love Prince as well. Massive Prince
I get
fan.
those comparisons a lot when I was living in England all the time. You sound like Lenny, Nine Inch Nails, get a little bit of Queen, or it depends on what song it is. I'm like, okay, well, maybe one day I'll be lucky and someone will say, "Wow, you kind of sound like Freemoor," because we're trying to just
Yeah, well,
do our
there's
thing.
that as well. But it's good to have at least you're nailing the sound of decent musicians, though.
All these, of course, Lenny. Oh my, I mean, come on, he's
Yeah.
awesome. He's awesome. Yeah. So thank
Do
you.
you try and incorporate their sound into your music? Or you're just trying to do
You
your own
know,
thing?
um, I don't try to copy anyone, but of course, if I'm influenced, each artist that I mentioned, I can name a lot more, but there's something about their sound or their songwriting or their producing uh, affects me. But when I'm writing, I'm just putting out true events. I'm putting out things that have touched me, like Confess, and there's other ones, Jumpin'. So the sound, me working with two different producers, producers, they've influenced me as well. Adrian Abelos is my co-producer and producer, so he's both roles because we both collaborate. And also, I work with Arnie V in Budapest. He's a badass, so they're influenced too, and they know my sound, they know my voice, so they bring out the best in me as much as possible.
That's quite. Do you know when a song's finished as well? Like, do you know when you write your songs? Or do you just chip away at it until you think I'm putting it out now?
I write them pretty fast. I can write. I would say like it's like Ike Turner say, I have a flair for writing songs. I write songs pretty. Ike Turner, remember the movie? She goes, "What do you have a flair for?" I have a flair for writing songs. Now, um, writing songs for me is comes natural because I'm writing of true events or something that's influenced me that's true. It's not fictional. I don't sit down and go, let me think of something that goes along with this music. So when you're thinking of a song, there's no beats because I don't make beats. I'm a, or drums or live, so we don't make beats. So usually I'll just have to just go with the lyrics and the idea on the bass or just in my head sometimes, just humming or beating on my chest or whatever the case may be. I would say that when I have a skeleton of songs, the lyrics, and the vibe, the bass line, etc., then I'll send it over to Adrian. He's in Toronto, and then he'll add his guitar, his key sounds, and he'll produce it along the way. And we go back and forth on the phone talking about what do I want, what does he feel. So we work as a great combination. Unfortunately, we're not face to face pretty much 90.9% of the time. And then when I worked with Arnie in Budapest at that time, I was lucky enough to go over to Budapest and work on the material. The last 5 years I've been with Adrian, and I've gone to Toronto, excuse me, once, and we've worked together. So we'd like to work together face to face where we could actually start a song, complete it in the same location, but it hasn't, we haven't had the opportunity yet.
So you're the first person I think I spoke to that's reasonably satisfied with your song. Like everyone else I speak to says they hate it. Like they're never satisfied when it's finished, and like they go back to it every time. And I was like, eventually just put it out and then hope, and then they'll just let people decide.
Well, I mean, I will just say this one part. We don't release right away. We hold on to songs. I've had songs that people are asking me, why haven't you released yet? That I would say are stronger than the songs that I have out now, but that's a matter of opinion. But the reason why we haven't released them, because since I'm independent, we're putting out singles. But at some point, beginning of 2026, I want to just put the album out and then go on to the next album. But I've got a lot more under wraps that I think are stronger than what I've put out so far.
Ah, quality.
That I
I
feel
read
that are
that you
stronger.
also you've lived in the UK, Berlin, LA, and Vegas as well. You sort of
Yes,
resided there. Have them
in
places
Budapest.
sort of
Yeah,
helped shape your sound and things? And
yes, yeah. I would say so. When I was in Berlin, I'll make it brief. I was preparing for a tour to introduce myself to Europe, and I also had rehearsals, etc., but it didn't work out. But I always wanted to live in the UK and debut from the UK. That was my entire plan was I've got to be in the UK because UK, I have to say, they do it, they do it the best. They don't play around. When they're releasing an artist, they don't play around, especially
yeah,
independent artists. And I had a guy there who brought me over and had the opportunity to have a lot of musicians around, met some great musicians, and I wanted to stay in the UK permanently. I was going to permanently give up, get my passport, stay in England,
it's
and
crazy.
build my career from England. Oh, I loved, I mean, just the energy, when you step outside, you're on stage. I mean, in music, things are happening. And unfortunately, COVID came and et cetera, et cetera. So the UK was one of my favorite places and it did influence me. Uh, Clothing wise, energy wise, my vibration, the cobblestone streets, the history of all the people that have left America to come to the UK to debut. I can name a lot of artists that left America at that time to come to the UK and they had better exposure and they were seen more. It's easier for them to perform in Europe than it was at that time in the States.
You know, it's always
So
crazy when somebody tells me, because I live here, it's always crazy when
yes.
somebody that lives in a big, great place like tells me they want to live here. Yeah, it
Yeah.
amazes me.
It depends on what type of artist you are as well.
Yeah, I
When I
suppose,
was when I
yeah.
was showing my music in LA, a lot of people would say I was driving cars for the time for a living, and they were like, "Hey, you're in the wrong country. You should be." I mean, America's great, but at that time, your sound, I figured you'd be overseas. You'd be over there because for some reason you have that sound. I said, "Okay, I don't know what that means," but I looked
Yeah, to be
into it
fair,
and I felt
your
like
style of music would work here as well because
I
it's
felt more
everyone loves their
comfortable
bands
in
and things in the UK.
Absolutely. And being seen more, I think, in Europe was is the thing that I missed because, I don't know if you know, I haven't performed too much here in the States. It's a little bit different performing format. So in Europe, it's a little bit easier to book and be seen and more exposure as it is from my perspective here.
Did you ever go to Liverpool when you were here?
No, I wanted to play Liverpool. I wanted to
I
play
think
many
Liverpool's
places.
better than London for music.
Sure. I mean, all these, what's so crazy? I have to bring this up. I follow a band called the Black Mamba. They're from Portugal. They're awesome. They're just one
I'll
of
check
the
them out.
these guys just did a documentary and they just did their whole album at Abbey Lane. And it just hit my heart like, wow, because all these things are in my head every day. I want to do Abbey Lane, like, and I really like to go back to the UK and put together my people and stabilize there, or even, you know, a portal in Portugal. I can name three places that I'd like to, you know, to put together, a powerful situation and stay there.
Well, let me know if you ever get here. We'll beat you for a beer.
I would be honored, sir. I'd be honored to greet you. You're a nice gentleman.
I read that you're a drummer then a bass player first before you were an artist. How did you make that
Drummer first.
transition into being a solo artist?
Grew up watching a lot of I grew up watching a lot of funk drummers who were the lead singer, like Larry Blackmore from Cameo. I can name a few others. Then you got Phil Collins, and then any drummer who could play. But then you come to find out they're the ones also writing the songs. So in my band, I was the lead singer. I'm writing the songs. I had, of course, input, but I'm the main guy at that time. And I just thought, like, okay, I'm very weird. I'm right-handed, but I play left-handed drums, and I'm singing lead, and I'm writing songs, original songs, even in high school. And so then from that point, I'm creating songs, but I needed to figure out a bass line. So I'm humming and beating on my chest and acting crazy. So then I said, okay, one guy came in and said, no, you need to go to the front. And I got scared. What do you mean? Well, you're singing. They can't see you. I said, no, but Phil Collins, yeah, but you're not, I'm sorry, you're not that. You've got to be seen now. The times have changed. So I went to the front, and that was spooky, not holding the drumsticks, not, and I wasn't even really a bass player. And then I got an opportunity to play the bass just as an amateur bass player from an artist named Trey. And he's like one of my dear friends today. But if it wasn't for him giving me a chance, and in him knowing, I didn't even know the name of the strings on the bass. But yet something, I don't know why.
Just got the
He
urge to do
picked me.
it.
I don't know why. I'm just faking it. And he knew, he goes, you don't read, you don't know what you're, I said, no. He goes, but I like your vibe. So I don't know. From that point, based with Trey, I started taking bass serious.
How did you find the first time doing it? Did you get the bad nerves
I
or
was scared to death. I was there as a guest watching my friend audition on drums. And then they asked, where's that guy in the corner just sitting here? And this is after a lot of bass players. And then you go, just pick it up. And I'm just plucking. But I don't know. He just like what, I don't know. I can't make sense of it. But he said, no, I just like your vibe. And of course, I had a little bit of something behind it. And he picked me, and I played with him for a lot of years, and getting better, learning about, even today, I don't read notes, but I play by ear, but at least I know the name of the strings.
oh dear, you can just listen and play.
Yes, always.
I think
I don't
that's
even,
like one of the best things in the world. I find it so
I
like
just listen
amazing that
and play.
someone can do that.
Well, I just think it's just natural from me being around my mom and a lot of musicians that I listen to. And yeah, when we have auditions, then I'll be honest with you. A lot of the guys who read, sometimes I can't get the best out of them because they're reading something, but I need to know how they play. But then take away the charts and all that stuff. I want to just feel someone's character on an instrument, and can they hear it? And so we've had some situations where the guy may be more qualified, but he don't have the feeling, but he has the technical. I'd rather have the guy with the feeling and can play it naturally, not having to read notes.
Yeah, I
Just
dig
from
that
my,
quality. I love that.
yes, yeah.
I read that you had a motto as well. Is it free to do more?
Yes, that's the brand. I have a Freemoor brand, which hasn't been launched. It's been launched, but not really officially launched. So I have a motto. And I will tell you that um, that motto came from a gentleman in England who's a dear friend of mine. His name was Greg. At that time, when I separated from the situation in England, and I said, well, wow, I know I don't have representation now. And then Greg said, well, now you're free to do more. I just looked at him. I said, and he said, that is who you are. And he's right. When I wasn't, like free to do more, focus, foundation, and freedom is what I put out in my message to the public. So the brand will be out in early 2026. There's apparel. There's a lot of unique apparel. things have been going a little slow, so there's no excuses, but that's the fact. But everyone's anticipation of the clothing, and of course, my words always, you're
Wow,
now free to do more. We are free to do more.
that's cool. Do you
Yeah.
see how you are you sort of independent now? Do you find it more challenging now, or did you find it more challenging when you had the representation?
I mean, it's challenging now, but I welcome it. I mean, independent is great, but no make light of it. You must be in a position, or you need to have the right representation as far as someone able to get you seen. You need to have resources to stay independent. I think the resources aspect is the most difficult part. A lot of people don't know who I am because I'm not exposed as I could be. This is all due to resources.
Yeah, it's tough as well
So
now, isn't it, with the way music is nowadays?
yeah, if you have if well, let's put it this way. There's a lot of artists out there that are doing well. Maybe their music is a little different. And then there's artists that are just super, super, talented, but you're not going to get a chance to really hear them because they may not have the resources or the situation to be exposed properly. No excuses, but independent means that you are independent and you're going to have to support yourself, or you're going to have to support, especially if you're a single artist, you need to support a musician. There's a lot of, I mean, there's so many things.
Yeah,
So
100%.
yeah, I won't make light of it. And hey, we just keep moving forward.
See, this is why I like doing this because it gives me, I know it's not much, but I at least get a chance to push somebody's music that I've liked and I can share. I mean, it's got a bit of a following now as well. So, and people always message me after the chat saying they've listened to the music. So it's doing its
Yes.
job.
Yes, but that's why I appreciate your format. I feel, and we always someone always says, "Oh yeah, I'll get a call. Yeah, my friend says he loves your music, and they're surprised that you're not. They're surprised that I'm not." I said, "Listen, I would love to have 3 million of that person who said that,
Yeah.
but the way you make it happen is just keep pushing forward. I know that the music is warranted, and I know that um, the music has merit, and I believe that, yeah, I look forward to opening up for some major artists one day. That's my mindset, and I
You've got to
will.
have that mindset. You've
People are
got to.
gonna know who I am. Yes, for sure.
What I loved about your music, it has like a sort of a live sound to it. Like it's good. Like, how do you transition that in the studio? Because it feels like you're
I
hearing it
think that
live type thing sometimes. I think.
I think the experience of who I'm working with, like with me and Adrian, and even like I said, I like to give everybody credit who's worked with me. I don't like to just isolate one person, but it's because I choose carefully who I work with. And anyone who works with me are able to bring out my vision or what I'm feeling. So a lot of musicianship in music. So it's not programmed. It's like serious musicianship, which it can translate live pretty easy if it's presented properly. And when you're living in England, of course, musicians, you go see bands and they're really playing like, if you go, see some of the top people over at Glastonbury, and they're bringing the heat, they're really playing. So therefore, I don't want to be too synthetic how can I say, electronical, because it doesn't come over well live. You can't emulate the sound.
Oh, it's
I
cool.
mentioned another guy that I like. I want to just say this too. Another influence that I've just recently discovered. Not when I say influence, the one that I really love is Yves Tumor, and
Ah,
he's
yeah.
he's out. Yeah, he's got an album that I just play almost every day. But I'm just so blown away by his the material. But in live, it comes across very well. But yeah,
I
he's
love
one
that
of
you
my
still
yeah,
get influences now as well. Like even you've got your OG
all the
influences.
time as I'm moving along, because there's always new artists coming out. I give people so much credit. I can name a guy people never heard of, but back when I was really young, this guy was just one of the best songwriters that I've ever heard. You're talking Bob Dylan, but this guy's Bob Dylan 3 times over. What I mean is he's he's on that level, but you never got a chance to enjoy him. He's just absolutely amazing. So I'm always, keeping my ear open and learning and trying to appreciate all the new artists that are coming out.
Oh, cool, man. What's next for you? Like, are you going to be
Okay,
touring?
so well, I wish I could say that. I wish I could say that right now. Hey, Ray. Hi. So we're releasing a new single right now. It's coming out November 18th. It's my version of a very famous Cream song, Sunshine of Your Love. This is my take on it, and also with the with Adrian producing it. That's coming out November 18th. After that, we're going to drop another single early January. I'm not going to tell you the title of it, but that's going to have a lot of assets behind it, music video, promotion. So we're going to put a lot of effort into the that particular dropping single in January. And this Sunshine of Your Love, we're going to drop that meantime before that particular drop. So, and then I will be coming over to Europe because I will be having uh, some gatherings for musicians, etc., to see where we go from there. I'm currently looking for a booking agent, well, preferably in Europe, but in the States as well, who can assist me on getting in front of a lot of people to perform.
Ah, if you get here, let me know, and if I can get to see you, I'll come see you.
Listen, you'll know I consider you a new friend, number one, and I love your energy. So, of course, any move that I make that's going to have me in Europe, you'll know first. I'd love to greet you and shake your hand, sir.
Oh, 100%. Thank you, man. Well,
You're a
that's
gentleman.
it, really. That was it. Like, I enjoyed that. It was a good little chat to you.
I enjoyed it too. I enjoyed it too. I just love your energy. And when I do come back, I'll make it a point that we sit down and have break some bread and have a drink.
Oh, thank you, man.